leave it to the professionals.
Blessed by Gandhi, blah, blah, blah.
Started off with a bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hooked on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
Surfing on the web and I'm shooting at 3. I've been golden when I got my G. I'm an alien boy from a different planet, yeah. So I got my drink, I'm riding in the 1920s Model T Ford. Call her Era Lord. Call me Levi, playing on the keys, boy. And I'm about to put my gloves on. If I said it, then I meant that. Yeah, I like that one, I'm about to get that. Crash that whip for the drumsticks, whiplash. I'm about to get them all. Are you with that? In a white boat, surrounded by blue. I want one, but I got a cop too. I wanna fly high in the sky, arms out wide, trying to soar from a bird's eye view. I'm on fire, Ricky, Bobby, cracking the pavement, Whitney, Bobby. I'm a Saki bomb, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Bruce Wayne been a dog, and I keep it 101, cause I'm feeling kinda spotty. You sipping on some rock, and I'm sipping on octane. The only thing around my neck is the
Started off with a
blockchain.
bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hooked on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
NFT, Twitter, blockchain. Seeing with the ghosts and we ballin' like LeBron James. Crypto. We can make a trade, get the memo. But feels not falling for the FOMO. Listening to coffee with Captain. You know we worldwide, they loco. I ain't never gonna stop rapping. Orlando, yeah, we working magic. We rocking Ethereum entities. I just went and caught me a half base. Man, I gotta shout out
Started
the
off with a
bit.
now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hooked on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
Freaking the mood to choose one, but they got knowledge to move, son. I'm shocking in shades with my brother in suits. Yeah, them blues is coming. Even though it's hard to pick, eeny, mighty, mo, soda on the mix, no biting lips, it's time to go. Index number 1, no thumbs up, you gotta scroll. Looking at the ghost in studio, it's time to go. I had a helmet on by myself until I met a mask that wanted to have a face off. So I had to bring my chainsaw, full tank of gas in the ride with my brakes off. I'm A1, but a different kind of steak sauce.
It's because I was muted. 1,219 shows. I'm just getting the imperfections out of the way early so we can run pure once we get to our guest here. Hopefully sound is good now. There we go. I don't know. It shouldn't be this hard. I like making it hard, apparently. Some days the mic auto unmutes after the intro song. Other days it doesn't. And it's one of the things that, not making excuses for myself, but I had one last opening task, reposting and commenting from the Coffee with Captain account. And I failed to notice the mic was off. Diego, I need to buy myself a punk before I buy you one, but it doesn't hurt to ask. Keep shooting those shots, maybe someday. But yes, we are live on all the platforms where you normally find us: X Audio, X Video, YouTube, and Abstract. Was just recently rewards day on Abstract. I think my XP is locked in now. It's been the same for like, I don't know, the exact same for like 5-6 weeks in a row, I feel. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay just getting rewarded for not doing anything extra other than just streaming over there. But exciting day today. We have a lot going on, a lot to get into, a lot of news of the day, and we continue the Builder's Domain interview series at 9 o'clock, right around 9 o'clock. The Slop Father, also known as Michael, is going to be joining us to talk about Mancer. Mancer seems to be the next big hyped thing to launch on Robinhood chain, talking about DeFi Summer 2.0. It's kicking off with those RWAs on Solana. Mancer also one of the special projects coming out of the stockbroker ecosystem. And I was excited to, this was by popular demand. A lot of people asking. I'd seen Mancer. I don't have an allow list. So there's nothing in this for me other than, actually, I probably will look to pick up one of these on secondary, despite not having an allow list. We might, no promises, we might see if we can get an allow list spot for the audience today. And we will be doing, we have some catching up to do on Coffee with Captain. So we will be doing a few claw pulls today. Let us know in the chat as we're warming things up that you would like to. If you haven't done a claw pull yet, if you've not done Coffee with Captain yet, let us know in the chat, and you might be picked today. We're going to do one of those before 9 o'clock, and yeah, only 25 allow lists. That's all we need. I do think it's on me for not reaching out and asking sooner, because I'm pretty sure the allow list is full, but maybe they have a few tied back and or held back. Talking ties, Mel and Mel Web3 Warhead and who else? Beanie, all talking ties in the GMs this morning. Diego hasn't done an August Coffee with Captain yet. That's fair. Before we get out of the cold open, though, let me take a second and shout out the stream board sponsors. You can find this board yourself at buycapcoffee.com. And it's by far the lowest cost way to get featured here on the show. We do have the builder domain slot. So if you're a builder or you know a builder that you'd like to feature, let us know, and we might be able to slot them into a future slot. We do have several already lined up for future weeks, but let us know. In the meantime, the quickest way, the lowest cost way by a landslide to get featured here on the show is go scoop one of these spots on the sponsor board at buycapcoffee.com. Shout out to OS Wiki and Frosties for taking that center spot. My favorite, no offense to anyone else, has to be the Zane whiteboard doodle. So if you're going to buy one of the exterior slots for just $10, just take over Zane's last. That would be my ask. Let's keep featuring the whiteboard, which will someday be a PFP collection if we keep peer pressuring Zane enough. By the way, in all seriousness, Zane is hiring, or his company is hiring. The business he's working for is hiring. Yeah, collared shirt today. We do have a couple things today. It's called football at 10 o'clock, although it's going to be a shorter show today because I've got more dental appointments with my daughter, and so I got to roll right after it's called coffee, hit the road, and head to the endodontist. But let me see here. This is I am a Barcelona fan. Yes, sir. Big transfer news actually this week, especially for my co-host Benjamin, who is a Newcastle fan. He talked about it. We knew this was happening, but they officially lost their captain. Bruno signed with Arsenal. I was supposed to be doing something here. What was I in the middle of? And I lost my train of thought. We've got a claw pull. We've got a Vibes pack grip. It's called Coffee is going live at 10. There was definitely something else. Oh, Zane, that's it. Let me pin this up top. And the problem now, Zane, is when I search for Zane, I get Zane Dahani, who's this new up-and-coming NFL blurb guy, NFL news, breaking news guy, and then Zane on Chain, who is encroaching on Zane's turf. And there we got the right Zane, the proper Zane. X not doing me any favors. But they are hiring a creative strategists, plural, at Valid Co. Zane joined Valid's creative team a little over a month ago and is already one of the fastest and most fun learning environments he's ever been a part of. If you love AI video and performance creative, this role is for you. If you're not familiar with Zane's background, he's worked with pretty much every major social media personality on the planet. Not even really exaggerating. From Gary Vee to Mr. Beast to I can't remember which Paul brother. Which one of the Paul brothers did you work with? Speaking of the Paul brothers, let's do this before we get into daily market update. Before we get into deep things like the Mancer white paper, let's play a quick clip from Impulsive. I think this is. Am I able to do this, Mr. Social Media Guru Zane? Is there anything prohibiting me from streaming it's not FIFA, so I think I'm in the clear, but I can play a full clip from Impulsive, right? I'm not going to get some DMCA from Logan. He worked for the other Paul, though, by the way, Jake Paul's company. That's who Zane worked for. So Jake Paul, Mr. Beast, Gary Vee, you name it, including some of your favorite Web3 brands like Klanosaurs and Good Vibes Club. I know he helped Good Vibes Club go to market. I think, were you at Klanosaurs during launch too, Zane? Was that during their go to market or after? Either way, Zane has worked with legends of Web3 as well as Web2, and they're hiring. So if you want to work with Zane, and he's pretty excited about it, the post is pinned up top, and it's a quote tweet of the business account, the brand account. And you can probably DM Zane as well if you have more questions. Let's. So I'm pretty sure this is queued up exactly where Gary starts talking about NFTs on Impulsive. This was yesterday. No, he joined Klanos in 23 after they had launched their NFT collection, but they had pretty much no Web2 presence at the time. When he joined, they have 700 Instagram followers. So if you're not familiar with Klanos and their social following, they've got a little bit more than 700 followers today on Instagram. They've crushed it on the socials. And while Zane won't take the credit for it, I'll give him credit for it. I love the Klanos team. And part of my appreciation of Klanos and Good Vibes Club is because they identify talent like Zane to help launch and go to market properly. So I'm going to play this clip because no one tells me I can't play it. It is, I'm doing this live. I should have made sure that was the correct spot before I played it. I'm near certain it's at the correct clip. And I think it's like maybe, let's see, it starts at 47 minutes. I want to say it's like 5 minutes maybe. So we're going to play it a little bit. We'll have some commentary afterwards. I'm curious your thoughts while we're playing this though. If you haven't already, give the space a like, repost, bookmark, all that. Would love to have a full house here for the Slop Father joining us right around 9 o'clock. So we got about 45 minutes, but between now and then, we got to get through this Gary Vee clip. Yeah, it's like 5 minutes. And then I got to rip some Good Vibes pack. We got to do some coffee with Captain. So those who are commenting on YouTube, I have the inside track for coffee with Captain poll this morning, especially if you're subscribed over there. But without further ado, this is Gary Vee on Impulsive. Interesting that I just realized the title is Gary Vee exposes Logan Paul allegations, and he's on Logan's show. So I don't know what we're getting into here, but I heard it's a good clip. A sight unseen for me. Heard it was a good clip from both Dort and Zane, who are three trusted sources. And I'm just gonna watch it with you all. So enjoy.
Some fucking wolf game, I'll tell you.
Whoops.
I have massive wolf game. I have a huge wolf.
You know how much wool I have?
How many devil fucking wolves I have?
No, wool.
Gary,
wool I have.
Let's talk about NFTs for a sec. I do want to talk about NFTs.
Please.
Because, man, I don't know why I still really believe in the idea of a valuable digital asset.
Why wouldn't you? I'm aware that 98% of the world thinks that it was a scam and a fad, including everybody probably behind the camera. But math doesn't lie. If every single person that's listening to this podcast right now goes to OpenSea, clicks collections, and looks at the sheer volume of NFTs being sold every day, they would shit their fucking pants today.
Oh, yeah, still.
Yeah. What kind of volume?
Hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars a day.
What? Still?
Yes. And everyone on earth, think about that volume. Think about that volume when literally every person on earth walking thinks it was a fad, a scam, a loss. So it did the blockchain digital collectible thing will be massive. I am thrilled to clip this in 9 years and be like, it's a collectible, bro.
I agree.
It's a collectible.
I agree. It's a shame.
But if you remember, when I was making the videos about NFTs, everybody likes to conveniently forget all the videos I made that said 99% of these are going to zero.
Yeah, of course.
Panini blockchain did 750 grand in the last 24 hours.
750
Panini
grand.
blockchain
Wow.
did 750, just Panini blockchain. Panini blockchain did 750,000 in the last 24 hours. People watching and listening to this podcast don't think that $750,000 worth of all NFTs have been sold in the last 6 months.
Yeah.
But this is what you do when you zig and zag. Like, it's not because I want, like, that I own 0 Panini NFTs on the record. I'm saying this not because I want it to work out. This is not my hopes and dreams or my feelings. This is called fucking math.
Yeah.
Go there and look and tell me if people are buying Bored Ape and V-Friends and Pudgy Penguins, right? Or tell me if they're not. And you know what's awesome about the blockchain? Unlike what goes on with physical cards, when people like to claim like, oh, Logan had his friend buy it or this and that, all this. The blockchain's fucking transparent. So look, what do I think? I think I've always compared NFTs to Web 1.0. When internet, for all the kids in here, when internet stocks came out in 2000, everything was worth $1 trillion, even if the company did 0 revenue. Pets.com, and all those stocks were on the fucking stock exchange, NASDAQ and New York Stock Exchange, and they were $150 a share. And then April 2000, all of it went to fucking 0. Literally 0. Out of business, 3 cents a share from $500 a share. Except, you know who was in that mess?
Google.
Amazon, eBay, PayPal. They went from $150 a share to $3 because everything fell along with it. But the 3 or 4 or 7 or 14 companies that were legit companies of the internet era went on to become some of the biggest companies in the world. There will be 3 to 4 to 7 projects from that 2021 era that in 20 years will be the Jackson Pollocks and the Andy Warhols, all the contemporary art from the 60s that went to 0, except Basquiat sells for hundreds of millions.
Yeah.
So what everyone got confused with is they were like NFTs. That'd be like saying all trading cards are worth $1 million.
Yeah.
Most are worth nothing.
Yeah.
Individual NFTs in 20 years will be worth something. The question is, are you good enough to pick the winners? That's hard.
Yeah. That's
hard.
the taste.
Yeah, Punks is guaranteed. It's
No,
the
yeah,
only,
Punks is in.
What
it's
about
the
all in
only
one?
one that is guaranteed because it's based on history. Every other one, V-Friends, Penguins, Azuki, Bored Ape, all the other ones need the operator to build it. I can tell you, if as long as God keeps me alive, V-Friends will win because I'm a fucking gangster. I'm an operator. I'm good at what I do. The end.
Yeah. Yeah, you're good. I think I could say the same about originals. I feel so good about that Polaroid project that you're in, actually.
Yeah.
Number 5. The floor, I think it's probably 7 to 10 ETH. Yeah, it's solid. But it's funny because like I just don't see, it seems inevitable to me. The idea of a digital valuable asset. Like,
by the way, back to what Tyler just said, if Panini keeps cooking, the rest of the like IPs down there will start getting involved. And there's eventually a day where the stink of NFTs will go away. The stink of, guys, the newspapers around the country put the web was a fad.
Are you serious, Gary?
Yes, bro. It was that much carnage.
Oh my God.
The internet itself was a fad.
Yeah, that was a huge.
That was like the main
insane.
story.
For a little while. And then in 2005, Web 2.0 came. That's where me and AJ cooked. That's when the Flickrs and the Deliciouses pre-cursed the Facebooks and the Twitters, and the whole world changed.
Oh, that's insane. It is so cool to
Yes, I passed on Uber twice and missed out on $500 million. There you go. There's a story.
Thanks a lot, Jeff.
Yeah, my brother
Man.
literally took the first Uber in Manhattan. The fucking
fuck,
email
guys,
hangs in my
going?
office.
Enough like a good couple F-bombs by Gary to get us warmed up this morning. Before I move on from this video, social media guru Zane, I need help. I know you've been bull posting the YouTube premium. Maybe that's the problem. I don't know how to fix my algorithm. It's partially because I open the show and let it play during the show on an extra tab. And then after the show, sometimes I forget to play it and it just goes wherever. How I'm getting Santo Rosario in my feed now, cozy rain sounds in a forest cabin, Bella Thorne, Disney dating, and from Call Her Daddy. VCR. I have watched an episode of Call Her Daddy like once in 2019. I just like none of this stuff. Now I'm going to get impulsive and more Logan Paul stuff in my feed. Like my YouTube algorithm is, people complain about X. My YouTube algorithm might be the most broke algorithm I've ever experienced in my life. And it's not even remotely close. Like how I'm getting, like this is even, it's not even English. And yes, I'm dating a Latina, but I don't type in Spanish. How am I getting some monk, some Spanish speaking monk that's my next suggested video? Like cozy rain sounds. I've never listened to rain sounds in the forest on my YouTube feed. Like what's happening here? Anyways, back to more important stuff. Thoughts on Gary's, I mean, hard not to be bullish. My first question is, what is originals? Logan mentioned originals at a 70th floor. It's my first time hearing that. Does anyone know what they're even referencing, what they're even talking about? Not that it's that important, probably more so this is, Impulsive still has 5 million followers, 4.83 million followers. So even if you may not be a Logan Paul fan, clearly a large following, clearly a big base. And I'm trying not to get ahead of myself. It's not a, but I do think we're on the precipice of DeFi Summer 2, of NFT Season 2. Like there's Robinhood chain. It does have the ability to onboard a lot of people. It's not going to be like 21, but there's a real path there. And I don't know, like it gets me excited to see Gary doing his media tours again. And I don't like, I probably should go back and watch the rest of this episode because I'm not like, that was just a 5-minute clip in an hour-long setting. But I think it's bullish. I think it's bullish that, I mean, Gary's not quitting. And it also, quite frankly, makes me want to be friend. He's right. Punks, they're in a class by themselves because it's all in history, it's all in provenance, and punks are the granddaddy. Might they get flipped someday by something with utility again? Yeah, it absolutely could happen. But fast forward 10 years, I've got a lot of confidence that punks will be worth more than they are today. The rest of them, they could be worth a lot more than that, or they could go to zero. There's real executional risk. There's going to be the pets.com out of NFTs. We've already seen a lot of them. But there's also going to be a Chewy out of NFTs. There's going to be an Amazon. There's going to be, maybe it's Hyperliquid. Maybe it is Stonkbrokers. Maybe it's, maybe it's Mancer that we're going to talk to today. Like maybe it's something that hasn't even been launched yet because the founder hasn't even ideated it yet. Like that's how I truly believe that's how early we are in NFTs. And if they were going to die, if they were going to zero, it would have already happened. Like we're forget punks. We're 5 years into the mania, past the mania. Like that's, I don't know. Like if it was going to zero, I think it probably would have already would have ran to zero. The question is, does it ever get back to all-time highs? Most, I don't think will, but that was also part of the mania. And some very well could. I think some will crush their all-time highs. Now, are people going to rush out and start buying NFTs because they heard Gary and Logan talking about them? Not millions of people, but there's probably going to be someone watching that goes checks out Panini blockchain when they hear about, because they're familiar with Panini. Panini is a known brand. And just like a lot of people came into this space by way of Top Shot in 21, I could see Panini being a path because collectibles really are having a moment. And when you hear people like Gary, who's well known and respected in the collectible world, talking NFTs, like it's I think it's bullish. I am overdue, by the way. Jeremy, no pressure. I'm not saying this to like I'm not like panhandling here, but we did offer to have Gary on back when you did the Topps Chrome drops. My bad. I dropped the ball on following back up and scheduling that, but just open invite. If Gary, I know I don't have 5 million followers and I am an Ohio boy though, so I do have that in common with Logan. But would so we're not going to get him quite the reach he gets on Impulsive, but would love to have him on the show. Open invite if you'd ever like to join us. Couldn't think of a better Web3 builder to feature on the Builder's Domain, brought to you by Doma. Like we've been running pure on these as of late, and excited to talk with Stonkfather today. Slopfather, excuse me. Stonkbroker's on my mind. Excited to talk with the Slopfather today about Mancer, and maybe we'll slot in Gary on a future Builder's Domain. But Machiavelli, I see you've got a hand up. I saw Jeremy just joined us on stage. Let's go Machiavelli, and then we'll bring Jeremy into the conversation. Machiavelli.
I came up because the originals collection I think he was talking about was his own collection
Yeah.
he did of like Polaroids.
That's it.
Where they went for thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars or whatever. There was only I think 99 or 100 of them, something
Yep.
like that. So I was just coming up to let you know that's the originals he's talking about.
Thank you for the yeah, that's exactly what it is. Zane said the same thing. It's Logan's photography collection. 99 photos he filmed, and Gary was featured in the original one. I will also
Think I
be
should buy a Punk over a Bored Ape? Because I haven't got my OG ape yet. You think I should just go straight Punk? Get the OG.
I mean, like, tough question, because I mean, it's huge price difference, right? Like, so the question becomes like, do you I mean, the more appropriate question is like, do you
worth $1 million and the Bored Ape going to be worth 100,000, or is the Bored Ape going to be 500,000 and the Punk going to be 500? Like that's like, I feel like because of the provenance and because they're like the you know what I mean? Like the echelon. Like I feel like in the long term, it's the no shade on anything. I'm just asking a question.
I mean, it's so you're talking like let's just say 4x for easy math. It's a little over 80 compared to 31 ETH. I mean, it's like, personally, I'm not in the point where I'm ready to park 31 ETH in one single asset, that it's not, that it's just purely off appreciation, right? Like, could you get an allow list or something for Hodl Punk? Yeah, sure. But because there's no execution risk, there's also, you don't have the executional upside. The upside of Punks is, I think it's a safer floor, and I do think Punks will appreciate, but there's a world where Punks go from 30 ETH to 50 ETH. Would people be static if apes ran back up to 50 ETH? Yeah, sure. But there's also a world where Clarity Act passes, we move forward on the regulatory front, and other sides of Smash hit, and they just, Yuga doesn't miss, and so I guess like it's hard for me to answer that question, because it's based on, like, I think probably what I would be doing is
we buy both, Cap. We buy
that's probably the right answer. And if you only have 31 ETH, I'm probably buying a V1 Punk, an OG Ape, and then I don't know, maybe something like
Squiggle.
Maybe if you want to go the art route, or you go the other way and it's the utility route, and you go something like a Stonkbroker, or play in the Mancer ecosystem. Like, while I still have an aspirational goal to someday vault a Punk, I have a lot of NFTs vaulted, and I'm much more in the mode like I would this fun bucket of money until I keep my buckets very separate, and until I bank a few big W's, I'm not splashing fresh liquidity in crypto, or more so in NFTs. So I'm looking for productive assets, or assets that I'm not flipping in and out. By the way, if I did list a couple of Stonkbrokers, like 50 to 70% above the floor, if someone wants a rare trade or something, I'll sell it and I'll re-enter. I'm not exiting, but with a collection that's has volume and moving, trying to dust off my trading shoes, and that's something that yeah, if someone wants
Yo, this has been a
gold bow
hard
tie.
chart to trade too, because when you think it was gonna zig, it zagged. So I can like as being somebody who's traded the stockbroker chart, like this thing has been unpredictable to say the least.
Yeah, I think it continues. I wonder when that interview was. I know it just aired, but I wonder when they actually recorded it. Because
Probably looking at about a week to 2 weeks out, like tops.
Yeah, he mentions Panini blockchain, no mention of Robinhood chain, but I do think so. I think this is the right collection. Sorry, I'm multitasking here. I do think this is the right collection. We're going to go to Jeremy here in a second. Pretty sure because it does have 340 or 383 ETH of volume. So I think this 99 originals is the right one. Although there is no floor. There's none listed right now, so it's not really a 7 or ETH floor. The top offer is 0.01 ETH. But again, photography collect supply 99, not gonna trade with extreme velocity, but you can see here. Yeah, I'm not gonna hate for someone putting out a photography collection. I'm not in the market to buy these NFTs right now, but I guess Gary was number 5. Here's Gary's.
A friend of mine bought one of those back like in 23 or whatever, paid thousands and thousands of dollars for it. And like they were in this, like if you had one of the 99 originals or whatever, like you were in a close group and had access to Logan Paul and did regular meetings and videos and meetups and all that stuff with the community. They paid an outrageous amount for it, but they found their value in it and they made lifelong friends and part of that network now.
Looks like the last one sold was 3 months ago for 0.94. So yeah, not too far off. I mean, there's several that sold around 1 ETH, anywhere from 3 to 6 months ago. None have sold in the last 3 months, but this will also be the thing I think will be interesting. Is do we see anyone like Gary? Obviously, he's not leaving. Gary's here. I believe him when he says he's here to stay. I think what will be interesting is if we see people like Logan that decide to re-engage, that decide to get back into NFTs, not just collecting, but might he do something with this project again instead of just coming in and dropping another collection if things get hot again. Like I'd love to see someone come in and actually, whether it's provide more utility or more access again, like whatever the plans were initially, or whatever they did, to your point, it'd be interesting to see if someone, not just Logan, but others that came in, dropped collections, and as the space kind of dried up, a lot of them just left. Beauty of it being on chain, it is forever. Like it's going to be there. I would love to see some people come back and reignite what they've done, or maybe it is drop another collection, but deliver some utility to those who were your first holders, your first supporters. Jeremy, GM, welcome. Appreciate you jumping up. Again, truly no pressure with the Gary invite. I wasn't saying that to be like a panhandler, but more so just wanted to apologize for not following up and actually coordinating that. But open invite anytime you'd like to join us. He is more than welcome. Would love to have him. GM, sir, how you doing?
GM. I came up to apologize as well and say hello. I've been on vacation for 3 weeks, so I missed a lot. My first day back, I'm on Italian time, so I woke up at like 4 a.m. Back in Cleveland, and so I knew I was going to tap into your show, and I love that you kicked it off with a Gary clip. I hadn't actually seen that interview, but I always chuckle when stuff like this gets surfaced because, and to Gary's credit, he says it all the time. He's very consistent. He's been saying that about NFTs and their inevitability for, I don't know, pretty consistently for the last several years, I think through the bear even. But obviously attention shifts. It doesn't really break through, and sentiment is an ever moving target. But on the dude, you're not like panhandling is like the farthest from how I take that comment. I came up to give you the clarity that like number one, Gary, I've talked to Gary about your show many times, and he very much wants to do it. If your show was at 9 p.m. or 8 p.m. instead of 8 a.m., it would have happened 3 times over. It's that this time for him is like some of the most precious at the beginning of the business day. But I am super motivated to make that happen. And I think with an 8 o'clock or even a 9 o'clock slot, it's tough to even get 20 or 30 minutes. But I would love to see that happen, because I think you've been literally the most, or one of the 3 most consistent reporters, commentators, hosts for our entire space for 5 years. So you guys would just have a great conversation. Also, Gary's a bit of a water hose when like you can ask him a question and he'll like give you his whole thesis over 15 or 20 minutes. And I feel like you're pretty good about steering and kind of mining for some of that gold that only experienced interviewers know how to do. So, dude, it's the farthest from any kind of opportunistic thing. You're beloved by us in the community and beloved by us internally at VFriends too.
Well, appreciate the kind words, truly do. And I also want it to be something that's worth his time. I understand how valuable his time is, and I can also get the mornings, like not just because I'm on the show. Like, I mean, this isn't an exaggeration. Like 4 a.m. to 10 a.m. are probably my most productive 6 hours of the day. And can I deviate from my morning routine? I can, except for between 8 and 10. This is pretty locked in. But I totally get it, and mornings are can be a challenge. So whenever
we'll make it happen.
Whenever it makes sense for him to, whether it's another, drop with tops or something to where it's, he could use the extra amplification that I might provide. Again, fully understanding it's not impulsive, but whenever there's something that he's looking to promote or kick off or launch, or I don't know, maybe it's the next VCon. That would be fun.
That would be prime. I would actually love that. And to your point, and to make it a little bit more relevant to the clip, is like, I think one of the things that Gary thinks about when he does a more Web3 native show, because it's a question of, is it worth his time? But he does plenty of things that don't, quote unquote, make sense in terms of time allocation. Like, you'll see, I'm sure plenty of people in this chat have been DMing with Gary at random hours as he taps in, and VCon's a fantastic. Yeah, we should like absolutely plan for that, because I can't wait for the return of VCon, man. I wish I had something to even tease about it, but I wouldn't dare. But man, I don't know. Fingers crossed for next year. We'll see. It's definitely going to happen. I think that's a great opportunity for it.
Awesome. Well, we will definitely do it whenever it makes sense for Gary and you all. But one thing I took away, because I've watched and consumed a lot of Gary's content. I've read a lot of his books or listened to the audiobooks, but it's not something, and I don't really have a good reason why, because he's obviously he's in crypto, he's in NFTs, but it went from like something I consumed regularly, like was in my regular podcast rotation, to really I do this show and I consume primarily a lot of sports content. The crypto content I consume is often on the timeline and in the war room. But I get, long story short, what I'm saying is, like, Gary's fallen out of my regular rotation. I'll still catch like clips and stuff, but it used to be I was tuning into shows and reading books, and not only do I enjoy his takes, and he's been early to a lot of things, and there's education to gain there. But I also, as a speaker, as a professional speaker, he's really good at not just working. I mean, he's phenomenal at working a room on a stage. He's also really good at working a camera. And while I've hosted 1,200 of these shows, live streaming is not as much of a strength as mine as is doing an interview or hosting an audio space. And while I'd like to think I'm animated, if you doubt that, you could see some some of the fine stickers by Peace Frog in the NFT War Room, the Coffee with Captain Discord. I often make a unintentional memeable face on this show, but when Gary does this thing and like his mannerisms that are like, he's got his bits, his lines down pat, that it's like muscle memory for him, that some things he just says so many times, it just happens. He doesn't think about it. Same thing with some of those mannerisms, and watching that video made me think I need to be a little more animated with my hands at times on this show. Step up my live streaming game. But yeah, go ahead, Jeremy.
It'd be interesting to hear his take on that. I mean, I think I have a background as a performer as well, and I've also consumed a lot of Gary content. I feel like what he would say, and I think this is valuable for your audience, is you don't need to be more animated. You need to be more yourself. And if the authentic you is more animated, then yeah, you can give it a try. And there's like, it's also kind of like new foods. It's like, doesn't hurt to try anything once, whether going into a week's worth of shows with that intention, see what comes out, maybe something clippable, and maybe you lean in, right? Because Gary's, as you said, like he has these lines and these, but they're not, what I really appreciate about Gary, from my standpoint as an improviser, someone who's, maybe people don't really know this, but like before I came to crypto, my primary profession was as an improviser and a clown. I did puppetry. I did a lot of street art, a lot of busking. I've done it in, 25 different cities around the world, solo, just myself, where I take off my hat and I just start a show. And it's very, very, very difficult and scary. But one thing that is always the same is you have to listen to your audience, right? And it's challenging for you on the stream because you have the chat. Maybe you have the emojis and X, but mainly you have the chat. When Gary's on a live stage, the amount of feedback that
and when you say like, yes, I know Gary would say be authentic, be yourself, don't try to be him. When you relate it to the in-person, like emceeing a conference or speaking in public on a stage, I am much more animated. And that's you talk about like, do I enter a flow state on this show? I'm sure I do from time to time, especially with good interview, good conversation. I'm sure it just goes. I'm not really thinking about anything. It's just happening. I would say much more so on the stage is where I'm in my element. Not that I'm opposed to this. I enjoy it. But as far as like muscle memory kicking in and just things going on autopilot, because when I'm on stage, I'm not thinking about what I'm saying. To your point, I'm reading the audience. I'm reading the body language, the tone. Are they leaning forward? Are they paying attention? Are they sitting back and crossing their arms and they're pissed off at something I said? Are they falling asleep? Like very challenging to do that on a one-way live stream. Yeah, I have the chat, which is very helpful. And all of you that are tuning in and didn't want to necessarily care to have a breakdown of behind the scenes on hosting or speaking, the chat does a lot more than just questions and answers. Like it really does. It does. Someone said something yesterday. I'm not going to go back there, but someone said something yesterday or 2 days ago while I was interviewing it. It was very helpful. It helped me get something back on point. And it's, I guess what I'm trying to say is like live streaming or on a show and analyzing the chat, it's got to read between the lines. It may sound weird because you would think much more direct, but the reality is I think it's much easier to read a room in person, even though they're not chatting. I think the visual cues they give off are much easier tells than understanding sentiment and tone in the chat. Because the reality is, in a room, I can see everyone. Well, most everyone, depending on how bright the lights are. But, there's maybe 10, 20% of people will comment throughout a show. And, so it's small sample size to gauge the rest of the audience. And yeah, anyways, that was the content. The clip was good. I'm glad he's talking about NFTs. Big audience. How my brain works is while I was paying attention to what was being said, it was much more about how he was saying it and breaking down my own opportunities as a host, as a speaker. Good stuff though. Enjoyed it. Wasn't planning on dissecting Gary as a speaker, but here we are. Tell him he did good. He did just good. He did a great job on Impulsive.
Okay, let me help with the pivot. What did I miss? I've been gone for 3 weeks. Obviously, I was like checking here and there. I know stockbrokers. It was so awesome to see Simple Farmer come on for the interview, talking about the mint mechanics and how he's been building this for so long, and then just see him take over the timeline over the last 3 weeks. So that's like amazing. I know that like MoonPay launched like a whole new product. Cloudflare just launched the wallet. FWA is like the hottest thing, and then the coldest thing in NFTs. I feel like those are the big hits. But are there what did I miss?
I mean, for being on vacation, you stayed pretty connected. Yeah, you're pretty dialed in. Yeah, stockbrokers have taken over the timeline. FWA was the hottest and the coldest simultaneously. It does look like it's recovered a little bit. It's down 1% on the day, 1.5% on the day, but at least maybe it's up a little bit from where it bottomed out at, and seemingly responded well to the change. Providing I think 30% of the revenue to support the token. It's not just stockbrokers though. I would say Robinhood chain really has had a moment. It is, I think, are there some derivatives that's just are? Yes. I really think, though, it's what we're seeing kicked off is the start of not even just RWA summer. Like, I do think Robinhood's going to continue to lean into RWAs even more. Obviously, coming from the collectible space, we've seen the success in the not just their physical collectibles, but those physical collectibles being brought on chain with platforms like Beezy. By the way, we're going to do that Coffee with Captain here in just a few minutes. So if you want to participate in Coffee with Captain, let me know in any of the chats. I think this is DeFi Summer 2.0, NFT Season 2.0. RWA is going to be, I think, at the core of a lot of that. And with all that, and I think that my takeaway from like stockbrokers is new primitives. It's experimentation season again, and we're seeing a lot of new. It's easy to say, oh, it's just tokenized stocks tied to the NFTs. It's so much more than that. Like, that's what's catching a lot of attention right now. But I really do think it's going to open up a lot of new experimentation on chain. I mean, quite frankly, we are seeing it with stockbrokers. I mean, it is. Mancer, who we're going to be talking to here in just a few minutes, or Slotfather, is a special project launched from the stockbrokers ecosystem. We just had we were just talking with Uncle Mac and the Dirt project, and that was recently launched via that ecosystem. Like this idea of collaborating and experimenting on chain, I think hey, when we had Simple Farmer on and we met stockbrokers, I didn't realize it was going to become quite the incubator that it is. But I think a lot of that. Some of this now, speaking just opinion and speculation, I think a lot of that is coming from the ecosystem. It's coming from the excitement around Robinhood chain and the culture that's being built over there. And it's not just a Robinhood chain. It's just random. But we got a few things we need to get in here in the next 10 minutes before we bring Michael on. Coffee with Captain, quick market update. And as I look at the market update, Steady Teddies is up 319% overnight. I have no clue why. I completely missed it. But if anyone knows,
I don't know the details, but I saw a tweet from someone that said, "Looks like it's time for me to split my Steady Teddies into different wallets."
Okay.
So there's some kind of per holder utility moment happening.
Yeah. That speaking of another per holder utility that's happening, or per asset utility, I should say, is Ape Fest tickets go on sale tomorrow. So if you're planning on attending Ape Fest, make sure you get your Glyph wallet set up. I'm not telling you to do this because it's supposed to be one ticket per holder, not one ticket per asset. And you can purchase a plus one for $269. But some people might be have multiple assets, and instead of paying it for a +1, they might like to just bring their wife or girlfriend or whoever with one of their assets that they hold. You would need to make sure you have your Glyph wallet set up. Again, I'm not saying to do this. Some people were talking about it, but if you're going to go that route, you need to get it done. Be prepared today, because the claim for those tickets, it's a deposit of $169, which is refundable when you check into Ape Fest, and then the +1s are $269. But it's going to be done through the Glyph wallet. So yeah, make sure you're getting that set up today. Before we do Coffee with Captain, I am going to do one Vibes pack rip courtesy of the one and only Teacher Katie. Teach, I didn't pull the gold promo card, but that's no fault of yourself. Thank you again very much for the birthday gift. This is what I'm going to ask for all future birthdays, is some sort of pack rip. I've decided. My mom's like, what do I get you? I don't know what to get you. Like, I don't need anything, Mom. Don't buy me anything. It used to be my answer. Now it's going to be buy me, fill in the blank. Buy me this pack of cards that I want to rip. And, I can even go for, it doesn't have to be extremely high ticket. I'm here for the dopamine. So we're going to cycle through these real quick, see if we hit any grails. You all can tell me if any of these are, speaking of jobs, and I see Zane, not only is he a social media guru, he's also played a role in the art concepting for this vibe set. That's a new one. I haven't seen that one. Junkyard Penguin. All right. And then after this, we're going to do the Coffee with Captain, and then we will talk all things Mancer with the Slop Father. So if you want to participate in Coffee with Captain, get your comments in the chat now. We may just do one today, and we'll save the other one for tomorrow, just so we don't keep Michael waiting. I like this one too. This is a perplexed burb. And speaking of Panini blockchain, if you missed it, that one of one sold for like 13 grand. The one of one kaboom. Oh, look at that. How about that, Teach? This, you can't make this up. Teacher Katie, this whole thing originated because she heard me on the show talking about, I want to get one of the rec cards. I want to get one of the rec guys. So she sends me not one, but two of the rec guy cards out of her personal collection, and then sends me a pack to rip. And I had 0 rec guy cards before this. Now I've got the 2 that she sent me, plus the one I just pulled. So how about that? Couldn't have like if it was Hollywood, they wouldn't have believed it. It was just the script is too good to be true. Handmade slingshot, and this is a fancy one, a free fall, and then our redemption one, the fish sickle. Thank you very much, Teacher Katie. You're too kind, greatly appreciated. And you've also inspired my future birthday wishes, Christmas gifts. Everything I'm going to be asking for is going to be nothing but packs that I can rip. And now I'm thinking, what else? Is there any pack drops coming up that I need to be getting in line for? EQLs. I think Steve and Joey were talking about something yesterday. So yeah, what is other than the Pokemon 30th anniversary? What is the next big packs that are dropping? Let me know. All right, let's do this. We got a rapid fire daily market update, and then we're going to do our Coffee with Captain. Looking at we'll start with NFTs. We're going to highlight them real quick. I'm rich with the friends I made along the way, Dort. Yes, you being one of them. And obviously Teacher Katie. Find yourself friends like Teacher Katie who are going to send you packs to rip for your birthday. Steady Teddies, as I mentioned, up to 0.03. That's 228% on the day. Something's going on, some sort of allow list, some sort of white list. I don't know what it is, but I do hold a Steady Teddy, so I need to figure out. If anyone does know what's happening, please let us know in the chat. Monkey Brokers, 2.02. Dead Stock, 0.234. These are both Robinhood NFTs. So Steady Teddies on ETH is up 228% to 0.03 ETH. Steady Teddies on Barachain is 394 Bara. I'm assuming those are pretty close to the same, but I'm not certain. Diego, does Panini have La Liga license? I don't know. They have the FIFA license. I don't know if they have La Liga. I would love it if they do. I will be ripping La Liga packs if they do. Teacher Katie also sent VFriends cards to Dort. So you find yourself friends like Teacher Katie. If you're not friends with Teacher Katie, I don't know what you're doing. Give her a follow. She's one of the great ones in the space. Back to the update. Non-playable characters up 47% on the day to 0.02. Shout out to the Coffee with Captain by Cap coffee board. We've got there was 2 at one point. We still have MPC Richman in that bottom right corner. You can see the board in its full display at buycapcoffee.com. Back to NFTs. The other worlders up 10%. Robin Rebels up 87%. There's one I'm not seeing on the trending chart, but definitely was popping off. I saw a little people talking about on the timeline is Merry Men. I'm not seeing it here, but that was one I saw up big. Good Godpool up another 4%. Genuine Undead up 10% to 0.16. I'm looking for Merry Men. I'm not seeing it. And just due to sake of time, we're going to keep things moving here. But if anyone knows, there it is, Merry Men. Okay, so it's up 700% on the day, 0.033 floor. I'm kind of disappointed. I didn't think of Merry Men myself. Great NFT brand for Robinhood chain. And it made me start thinking like, okay, what someone needs to do ship a project. Maybe this could be the next thing for the Stockbrokers ecosystem. Some sort of project where it robs from the rich and gives to the poor. Like it somehow, I don't know how you do it. Someone that's smarter than me can think of the mechanics, but somehow where it entices whales to enter the protocol, to enter the collection. But there is, instead of like, it's like a reverse gotcha where while whales are incentivized to enter, they could get their NFTs or their tokens stolen and given to a non-whale in the collection. So again, this is not baked out. I'm talking through this live, but someone needs to ship some sort of protocol that steals from the rich and gives to the poor. It would be an absolute cook on Robinhood chain. I'm not. You don't need to pay me for that. That's a free idea. Just give us a whitelist, maybe a token, and we'll have you on the show to talk about it when you launch. Looking at majors real quick, and then we will get this coffee with Captain in, and then we do have Michael in the green room. So don't go anywhere. We got an exciting conversation. Mancer, the next big thing on Robinhood chain. We're going to be talking about it with the founder here in just a few minutes. Help us warm up this room with those likes, reposts, bookmarks. Greatly appreciated. Majors are pretty much green across the board. XRP is down 1%, Doge down 0.7%. Everything else in the top 10 is up. Not tremendously, but again, we'll take up 0.07 and 0.68%, better than red days. And the big winner, Zcash, up 7%. Hyperliquid also up 2.6%. So things to be kind of heating up. Pump Fun up 12% on the day. That's interesting. Unrelated, but kind of related to Solana at least. I really enjoyed. I actually watched the poker stream yesterday, the Solana Poker Open, or I'm not exactly sure what they called it, but it was entertaining. I really enjoyed it. I would like to see more of that in crypto, Web3, more events that aren't just meetups, but like some fun activities. It actually got me thinking. Talking VFriends, it got me thinking. Jeremy got me thinking about. We did the fantasy football competition back in 21 or 22. VFriends was in there. Gary was quickly to say, yeah, I'm interested. I dig it. And it was basically like we had a dozen different communities, and the communities, had a team in the league they represented themselves. It was fun. More stuff like that. As much as I was talking jokingly or having fun with the whole PvP mentality of the space, I do think collaboration is very impactful. And as things are heating up and there's more activity, I think a good time to maybe do some whether community-based poker or fantasy. There's something there. There has been. This isn't like a new novel idea, but feels like could be a good time to bring some of that back. That's called FWA. I'm not sure what other than FW. I'm not sure exactly what it was in reference to, but for our coffee with Captain today, I'm going to return the favor. I know we've had Teacher Katie on stream. I think we even did a claw pull many eons ago, but since she's been so generous, not only gifting me the pack, but also our guy Dort, we're going to do a quick coffee with Captain. Teacher Katie's getting a claw pull here, and then we're going to bring on Michael with Mancer. Excited to dive into that in great detail. But before we do, let's do a proper intro here. We'll do a quick claw pull for Teacher Katie, and then we're going to save the one for tomorrow, as well as JP Vamos. If you're out there, we're still seeking JP Vamos, who won the World Cup Bracket Challenge and Coffee with Captain Community Member of the Month for July. JP, you got a $250 claw pool coming. We need you to show yourself. When we had that filled out, we did not ask for X handles, and I know his underdog user account, but I don't know who JP Vamos is on this app. That said, this is Coffee with Captain, brought to you by Beezy.
Coffee with Captain. Give that claw a spin. Raw to grills from BC. Prizes within. Mystery and magic. Where to begin? Coffee with Captain. It's your time to win.
Alrighty, the QR code in the top, that'll take you right to the Beezy, our Beezy ref link. If you've not yet created an account over there, go get one set up. And they've got raffles, they've got points vault, a lot of exciting stuff happening on Beezy. And this is a silver claw pull for the one and only Teacher Katie. We're gonna hit one of these grails for Teach today. There's a 2021 Korean EV Heroes Umbreon that goes for $1,278. And then there's a Gengar, remind me how to say this one. Gengar, it's a PSA 8 from 1999. It's also $1,000. And then also not bad would be this legendary Moltres PSA 8. We continue to do Coffee with Captain just for the reoccurring bit that is me attempting to pronounce Pokemon names. But this is for Teacher Katie. Teach, good luck. I hope we pull one of those grails for you. All right, $39 swap offer on the 2025 Japanese Battle Partners Zorua. Good looking card. Cute little character here. Teacher Katie, let me know if you want to swap this for $39. It actually comes down to $36.66 after the platform fee. $36.66 we can send your way, or if you want to vault the card, it's a Gym Mint 10 2025 Pokemon Zorua. Let me know if you want to keep that, if you want to vault it. And she says swap, so we're going to swap $36.66. Teacher Katie, send me your ETH address or your EVM address or your Beezy profile, and we'll get that sent to you after the show. All that being said, without further ado, I know we're going rapid fire in here. We're hard segue and after hard segue, but busy day, exciting stuff to talk about. I appreciate everyone who helped warm up the show. 150 of you out there in the audio spaces alone. We're also live on YouTube, X Audio, X Video, and Abstract. For those of you that are new here and just joined us, we go live every Monday through Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern time. And often it's, first hour is trending news, news of the day, daily market update. And then we're very fortunate that around that 9 o'clock hour, we get joined by special guests like the one and only Michael Hirsch today. Michael Hirsch, also known as the Slop Father, building Mancer over on Robinhood chain. Michael, GM, thanks so much for joining us. I am really excited to talk all things Mancer because I know you put out a great white paper, but as many on this app, not only do I don't read often, I haven't even thrown it in ChatGPT yet to have it break down that very extensive white paper. But before we jump into Mancer and talk about the next big hyped thing to drop on Robinhood chain, do you mind sharing a little background? Anything you're comfortable sharing about yourself, your background prior to crypto and Web3, your journey into anything you're comfortable sharing you'd like to share with the audience? But thank you so much for joining us today. Grateful for your time and looking forward to discussing Mancer today. But yeah, do you mind just a little bit of background?
Yeah. Thanks for having me on. So I started in crypto with NFTs. Funny enough, back in I think 2021, 2022, and then I started. It's like my first NFT I ever bought was like the PFP I have on X, like a chain runner. So I started with like I was running a software agency at the time, and my business partner and I were like, man, we missed Bitcoin. We got to get on this NFT thing. And so we're like looking into NFTs, and then we're like, why isn't like, why aren't these like stored on the blockchain? Like, is that like a thing? And so we were like looking it up, and we had found like Chain Runners had like just launched and it was like fully on chain. So that was like both of our intro to crypto. And then after that, I developed soon after. I developed an NFT launchpad for fully on-chain NFTs at the time. And you can go to, it's still up and running. It's carve.app. But it was the first, one of the first NFT launchpads for no code. And then certainly the first, I don't even know if there was ever another one for fully on-chain NFTs. Because the audience is probably too small, but it's been fun. Through that, I've gotten to know a lot of creators, and I got to through that meet my next business partner, who was the creator of Genius.com, and we both co-founded Facet, which the goal there was to create an L2 that can't be shut down.
Okay.
And so we did, but it turns out that you need a little bit more than just cool tech to keep a blockchain alive. Yeah, so it was pretty hard to compete in the L2 space there, and so I stepped away late last year from that project and just kind of took some time to experiment, building different things. One of the first things I experimented with was a product I made called Howdy, which is like Discord, but specifically for NFT collections.
Interesting.
Because I absolutely hate Discord. And NFTs are like built for token gating. So I was like, I don't know why there's not a product that offers this where you just like get a community out of the gate where you can chat in.
It's funny you say that. Can I interject real quick? Because I
go for it.
just saw something yesterday, and I'll see if I can go find the post. But someone was talking about Discord, and it showed their revenue rates over the last like decade. And it is if you overlay like an NFT chart to it, it's like hockey stick up. I'll see if I can find the chart. But I mean, it makes sense in hindsight. And obviously I went from maybe having been in one Discord or two to like 200 in the mania. But yeah, Discord absolutely exploded thanks to NFTs.
Yeah.
And you don't hear anyone ever talking about it. Like no one ever says, Discord became what they are today because of NFTs, but it absolutely was, a huge 100%. Shot in the arm for them. And yeah, I used to load Discord as well. Now I don't mind it, but I basically am in one Discord. I mean, I'm still in several, but I only interact in one Discord. And so it's fine today.
Yeah.
But it became completely overwhelming. And sorry to interject, but yeah,
no, you're good.
I just saw that yesterday. It was top of my mind that how Discord basically became, this $1 billion enterprise. Right. While they were in existence before, it was NFTs that
it was very gamer focused at first. Still is pretty gamer focused, but I'm surprised they never really like leaned into that audience. But exactly. But Discord is just like so easy to like mess up. There's so many dials and knobs, and it's just like a headache, especially like having to connect to like some third-party thing to token gate. And so anyways, I built Howdy. I experimented with that. Turns out that is really hard to do, to get people to like move communities over. And so I just kept experimenting, and then I had this idea for putting an AI model on the blockchain.
Okay.
And so I was like, I was talking to another friend of mine, and they were like, hey, could you put an AI model on the blockchain? And I was like, probably, like, like how small could you get it? And so I was like, what would be within parameters is probably training an AI model to just know the 10,000 CryptoPunks. And so then that's like what led to Slonks.
Okay.
And then the Slop token. and that was fun. And um, uh, you know, just still experimenting with new things.
I love it, man. I did not realize that you have been such an experimenter on chain. I love how you saw, problems or challenges or things that you thought could be better, and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna go build this thing.
Yeah.
And so where does Blockhash fit into all this?
Yeah. So I mean, Blockhash is just like it's just like an entity that I can do all of this under
Okay,
for Uncle Sam.
gotcha.
And it's also fun to have a brand. And like, to be honest, like I was just looking at like cool domain names,
It's a good one.
and I saw that one was for sale, and I was like, how is this like $1,000? I have to buy it. And so then I bought it, and I was like, well, now I have to make an LLC. So, and then yeah, but it's just a cool name to do projects under. The idea there is like block hashes are like what keeps the blockchain together, and so it's kind of like the glue that makes everything stick.
I love it, man. Well, the other thing that we're going to find out some more details about the specifics, but the one thing that I've just deduced from the timeline and the website is, I greatly appreciate, if my understanding is correct, that you've brought your community along, like Slonks and those that held the slot token. Like that's how they got a allow list for Mancer. Is that accurate? Can you tell us kind of about that? Because I gave Simple Farmer a lot of flowers for basically bringing his earliest supporters, whether it was Clutch Puppies or Pixel Pups or Pup Cup, along, and that's how they got into Stockbrokers. I hope this is kind of the new meta, because I think we were talking yesterday about FWA and the founder there, Adam. He does a lot of experiments, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Like we need more experimenters on chain. Not everyone's going to land, but when you do a new experiment, bring some of the people who were supporting you from the jump along with you. So can you kind of talk to us about like what does that look like? What exactly was it? Is it as simple as if they held a Slonk NFT or the slop token, they got allow list, or was there more to it than that?
No, I've done that before. Like I did that with I guess I missed one that I did right after Robinhood launched. I had this like fun idea for a token that I called Hoodle, and the idea there was to tax people at a decaying rate over 7 days, and then whatever is taxed, put it in the sheriff's pot that can be stolen by people who've been holding longer than 24 hours. So, and then the longer you hold, the like higher your chance of being able to steal the sheriff's pot is. But the trick is it doesn't go to you; it goes to everyone else who's also been holding for 24 hours or more.
Okay.
And that was a cool project. It didn't really take off. I thought it was a cool idea, but I think with that, I mean, it's kind of like a rabbit trail, but with that, I got kind of like fucked over because there were people who created like some scam liquidity pools, and since it was a V4 hook, it wasn't pulled into like Uniswap and other front ends because it was like a custom hook, and so they were routing people through these like scam liquidity pools that were hookless, and so everyone who was like hyped and like got in just like exited because they were like losing money. And I was just like, well, that sucks. But anyways, that's like a whole nother thing. Like, be cautious with V4 hooks, because someone can just create like a non V4 hook pool of your token, and like all these front ends will route through those instead of yours.
So are you, all this experimentation, are you self-taught? Do you have a team of devs around you? Are you?
Oh yeah, it's just me.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I've just been programming since I was like 15.
Wow.
So yeah, just like, yeah, very self-taught. But what I was saying there though is like I brought people over to Hoodle from slop,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't do the burn thing.
Okay.
And so obviously what happened was like everyone sells, and then whatever liquidity you added to that previous project was removed and some. It was like even worse liquidity in slop than it was before. So I was like, okay, yeah, definitely I'm going to be doing burns from here on out, because when you burn, you lock the liquidity into the previous project. It can't be removed. So but yeah, I never went to college. I just started programming in high school. I started building websites for businesses in Houston. That's where I'm from originally. And then after high school, I did like a couple jobs, and then I started a software agency, and did that for a few years. So
Very cool. I love it, man. I love this. I love the entrepreneur journey, and yeah, no, no pressure for those that do want to go to college, like to each their
no,
own.
of course.
But I actually dropped out like 15 credit hours shy of my degree. I dropped out my final quarter of college because I was making better money at the time than most of my friends who had just graduated, and I'm an entrepreneur. Like college it can be helpful, it can be beneficial. My daughter's going to college. She starts later this month, but it is a lot of it's networking and who you can start with. And like I've said it before on this show, like I feel like other than college, the only thing I could even remotely relate to college and the networking I was able to do in college is this space. Like I've met not just acquaintances and connections and had doors open, but truly like lifelong friends that, and I'm guessing I'm a little older than you at this age. Most people don't make a lot of new friends in their 40s. Like it's just not a thing. Like you meet people at work and maybe you meet your kids' parents, but this space is really from a networking standpoint. And then back to the tech side, like self-taught, you've been programming since high school. How much has AI helped you ship more, do more? Like kind of briefly, and then we will get into Mancer here, but kind of walk us through what does that look like from how you were programming and coding software previously to what it looks like today for you.
Oh, it's very different. I mean, I mostly do not write code anymore. I think like if you're writing code manually with your fingers, you're wasting time. Like it's like I can orchestrate, and I can correct whenever it's wrong. I can guide it in the right direction. But I don't need to be writing like for loops and if statements and all those things. And I can knock out stuff like crazy fast. So yeah, it's helped a lot. You just have to know what you're doing, I think. I don't think it's quite at the point where you can kind of just let it run on its own, because I have to correct it all the time still. Writing a lot of tests is like a must. Everything has to have a test written for it. Yeah, it's something that was the case before, but even more so now, especially if you're like doing a lot of AI coding. Test first. And then, but yeah, it's whenever like AI started getting to the point where it could do the majority, if not almost all of my coding for me, I was like, okay, I need to like take advantage of this little window that I'm in, because like little people like me are at an advantage against larger corporations right now who have a huge staff of software engineers that can pump out projects because they have bureaucracy and I don't. And I can just pump out whatever I want. I don't have to report to anybody. But eventually it's going to get to the point where it's going to be harder to compete with them. But for this short little window that we're in, AI has allowed small teams, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, to like compete with huge corporations if you want to take advantage of it. And so I wanted to capture that window of opportunity.
Smart. Yeah, a lot more nimble, a lot quicker. And with a lot of this stuff, you don't need thousands of devs on your team. You don't need even dozens of devs. You can ship a lot of stuff a lot faster, leveraging the tools and resources. And I guess kind of leading right into it, I've seen if I saw it right, it's like part of the position of Mancer's is it will be the Jupiter of Robinhood, which is exciting, but it's also Jupiter's a pretty established, a well-funded team. Like, kind of before we get into the details and the specifics, maybe expand on what you just said. How does Mancer as a startup compete with some of these established brands that might be sooner or later, maybe bridging or launching omni-chain on Robinhood? What advantage do you think you have as a startup competing with the Jupiters of the world?
Community. I mean, I'm going to build the community first. So, I mean, I think I lost your video just now. Are you still there?
Yeah, sorry, I'm here.
Okay, you're good. So, I mean, the big thing is like, especially partnering with Simple Farmer and stockbrokers. Community is everything. Like you remember when Coinbase launched the NFT marketplace?
Oh yeah.
It doesn't matter how big you are. Like, it doesn't matter. If you have the community, like it's very hard to come in even with big stacks and take over an existing thing. So I'm trying to establish that. I'm working with Simple Farmer to grow the community, and it's already on fire. Like, the community is crazy, and they're pumped, and it's like it's going to reward them. I'm building it in a way where the fees are directed to those holders, and so it's a very I think it's a nice system. It pulls a lot from what stockbrokers did with stock tokens, and kind of takes that blueprint and puts a DEX on top of it. And so I'm excited to see how it goes.
I am as well. Not only am I excited to see how this goes, I am optimistic. I'm hopeful that this kicks off somewhat of a new meta in terms of, you're leveraging your community, your existing community, you're bringing them along.
Yeah.
You're tapped into stockbrokers in that community, and then also deploying some of the mechanics, some of the tokenomics that we saw where we're seeing with stockbrokers. And for instance, there's each one of the Mancers is going to be backed with 500,000 Mancer token. 25% of the token LP goes to LP on stockbrokers. 75% goes to Anvil. By the way, the white paper, I'll pin it up top. It's a great explanation. I know not everyone's going to read it. We're not going to read it all to you here on the show, but it does go into a deeper dive into explaining more about Mancer and some of these tokenomics. But can you, for those that won't read the white paper, and won't even take the time to read this this tweet, talk to us about the mechanics. And also, I referenced that we had Simple Farmer on the show, and this is by no means is this meant to be disrespectful to you at all. But when you talk about the power of community, when you talk about the stockbrokers ecosystem, I noticed that this post, this announcement post of the upcoming NFT and token launch, it got 84,000 views, almost 1,000 likes, 237 bookmarks. Like, it's crazy. This is the power of collaboration and community, right?
Yeah,
like, I know it's impossible to say, but had you just done this yourself and not had any tie-in to your prior communities, not any tie-in to stockbrokers, I mean, probably safe to say that this thing doesn't get 85,000 impressions. I'm guessing, right?
Yeah, no, and you're 100% right. And that's, I think that Simple Farmer and stockbrokers are bringing a lot to the table for me as a builder, a developer. What Simple Farmer has done over there in that community is insane. And it's smart because it's attracting big fish. I like to consider myself a big fish. And so bringing people like myself who are huge developers in the space to be able to capture that and bring that into his community is a huge win. And I wouldn't be doing it if it didn't benefit myself either. So I think it's a win-win both ways. I can build this insane platform, and he can kind of relax. He's not like on me, like, are you doing this? Are you doing that? Because he can, he knows it's going to work because of my experience. I don't even know if I went into that, but this will not be my first DEX to build. Whenever we launched Facet, the blockchain, I built the DEX over there. And I've written many DEX contracts and front ends over the years. So I know the space. And I guess going into the white paper, there were like two things that I guess like have realized exist in like, I guess you could say like the TWAP limit order side of things, because building just like a swap DEX is pretty simple. You just need like aggregators to like find a good price routing for you. And we'll have that too. We're going to have like, the best aggregator to give you the best price on like immediate swaps. But that's like the easy part. The hard part is, how do you do limit orders? How do you do like DCAing with TWAPs and in a way that you're not like putting all of your trust in some centralized entity, and balancing that with not putting all of your trust in like just random people who are like some decentralized network where they can like mess with your price and then pair that with the fact that it's not going to like custody your funds, which is like what most do. If you do TWAPs or limit orders, you put your money in, and then it will fulfill from that bucket wherever you're putting your money. It will fulfill from there over time. I just didn't really see the need for that. Why would it need to custody your funds? So that was one thing I wanted to do differently. The other thing is like Jupiter and a few others, the way that they do price protection is they're the ones fulfilling the orders for you. Well, I don't want like all of that to be like on me or on like the entity to do. I want to decentralize this, kind of like CalSwap does.
Mm-hmm.
But CalSwap doesn't really do price protection the way I would want to do it. The easy way to do price protection is to say, don't ever buy it outside of this window. Like if the price is ever below this, don't buy it. Or if the price is ever above, if the price ever goes above this, sell it. Or like, you giving it these like sell or buy, prices that it can stay in is pretty easy to do, but it's not flexible, and it does not allow for DCAing into say like Apple once a day for the rest of your life. For like, if you want to just like buy $10 of Apple every day for the rest of your life, that would not allow you to do that, because before you create the order, you have to give it a range. That's how, and that's how it, like a lot of these handle price protection, and we will be allowing for you to do that as like kind of like a safety if you want to. Like, no matter where it goes, just stay within this. It'll allow for that. But what I was really wanting to solve, which I have not found anywhere, is the ability to DCA into something no matter what the price is for the rest of my life, and just trust that it will give me the best price for like the market. And the way that I'm doing that right now is the first release will just work with Uniswap V3 tokens because V3 tokens have built-in oracles. And so you can just do a slippage on the price of the oracle at the time. And but then you're just limited to V3 tokens. And so a part of the white paper goes into how I'm going to solve decentralized price protection on non V3 tokens, which will use which will use storage proofs. So a part of the solution will be, and this is kind of like playing into the name Mancer a little bit.
Okay.
Mancer comes from like necromancer, which is like, you know, you're talking to the dead, and in Mancer, my solution for price protection is talking to dead blocks.
Okay.
Is like how I'm calling it. So you're looking back at dead blocks, not really dead, just, you know, completed blocks, finalized blocks, and you're saying, you know, what was the price in the pool at the end of this block? And you can prove that on chain using block hashes. And then you can then say, like, over the last 50 blocks, you could say like over the last 100 blocks, like whatever range you want. And you can prove all of that on chain. It is impossible to get that wrong because it is a part of the block hash. Shout out to my company. And so that was like my aha moment. I was like, why are we not doing this? Well, part of the reason is because it's fucking expensive to like do all that on chain. So then after a lot of like kind of wrestling with the best approach, I've started experimenting with using ZK basically as compression. And this is probably going to be like boring to most of your users, but it is what it is. So I'm basically working on building some ZK tech that will allow for like infinite scalability across like how many blocks you could use as like that price protection. And then the only limiter there then is not the cost to prove it on chain, because it would actually be the same no matter how many blocks. It would just be the time it takes to generate the proof that you're using when you prove it on chain. So so that's like the limiting factor right now is like, okay, we can't take 5 minutes to generate a proof to settle an order. And so I've been working on different approaches to that. But V1 will not support that. I'm just going to start with supporting V3. It's built-in oracles. It solves, you know, the immediate problem for now. And every stock token on Robinhood is in a V3 pool. So, and that's like, you know, that's like the main cool thing about Robinhood is like that Mancer will provide you is you'll be able to, in a probably for the first time ever, totally decentralized DCA into Apple stock. Like, has that ever been possible? I don't think so.
I definitely don't think so from a DEX. Hearing you describe it, where my brain was going is, okay, to me, trying to put some of this into some layman's terms, it sounds like you're taking some of what we might have seen like AI agents do. Like you can go get this agent or create this agent and go have it do some trades for you, have it, you know, DCA into, I don't even know if they could do it with stocks yet. I mean, maybe it's out there. I would think now that, you know, the stocks are tokenized, but saw it early. This a little while ago that you could have an agent go create, you know, daily trades for you, DCA into your favorite crypto. It seems like you're taking some of these, what you might have had to do in the past or currently with an AI agent to go do some of these automated trades. You're building all those features right into the DEX. Is that fair how I'm describing it, or not exactly?
It's not new. That part is not new. Like like DCA tools, like like on Jupiter, for example, you can go on Jupiter and buy something on a recurring basis right now.
Getting a little bit. Sorry to interrupt. Getting a little bit of crackling from your mic. It's not just mine. I'm hearing some in the chat too. I don't know.
Has it been that way?
No, it just started here a little bit ago.
Yeah, hopefully it. Test.
Maybe one of the things sometimes when mics get a little funny, if you go into the gearbox, the setting, and change the input to something else, and then change it right back, that sometimes can resolve some of these issues. Or yeah, as Giovinci says, or just do the old trusty unplug it and plug it back in. That works 99% of the time almost.
Test.
We're good. Yep. Whatever you did, that took care of
better.
it. Yep. Thanks.
Weird.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. No, you're good. Thanks for letting me know. But I do forget where I was talking about.
Comparing it to, I gave the the Jupiter. We're talking like Jupiter has some DCA features built in. Like, where is this different than that, or
so
having an AI agent go do it for me?
My idea here is like I do not want to be the one fulfilling these orders in the long term. Like, I want to create a decentralized, what I'm calling a keeper network. A keeper is like a term for the executor of an order. They're called keepers. And so I'm going to create like a keeper network. But if I create a keeper network, and that keeper network would be limited, like it would be gated to the NFT holders to be a part of. If I create a keeper network, I have to protect the makers, right? Like, how do I price protect them from an adversarial keeper on the network from giving them a bad price? And so that's basically like the problem that I'm solving for here. That's different is that with Jupiter, you can get good prices, but it is running through the way you're doing that is because Jupiter is the one that is fulfilling your order for you. What I'm trying to do is build a decentralized network of executors, essentially, who execute all these transactions in a similar way to CalSwap, but just doing it differently because CalSwap can't do what I'm trying to do, which is going back to the DCAing thing. Like, CalSwap cannot DCA into something for me for the rest of my life because I have to give it some sort of price basis for that order. Whereas I would rather just say buy $10 of it every day, and then that's it. No, don't give it any sort of window to stay within. So I don't know if that makes more sense.
Yeah, no, I'm tracking with you. So new and improved decks feels like a much more, I mean, I guess the decks by nature, they're all decentralized, but it feels like really leaning into the decentralized ethos here. And
yeah, I mean, that's like been my ethos since the beginning of time. But yeah.
So specifics about, for those that are listening, okay, I'm interested. I'm looking for, it sounds cool. It sounds new, improved.
Yeah.
The next, a lot of hype. Robinhood chain has a lot of motion right now. For those listening in, some have gotten allow list, a lot won't. I guess so. Two questions. One, for those that have allow list, what do they need to be aware of? What are the specifics around mint? They're minting an NFT, right? That then comes with these tokens, as we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Is it a free mint? What are the specifics around mint? And then for those, then the second follow-up question would be for those who may not have an allow list. What look for secondary? Will trading go live immediately? What are some? How can we participate for those that are listening and excited about Mancer?
Yeah. So the way it's going to work is the NFT and token will have a they'll both back each other. So Simple Farmer created an AMM for tokens and NFTs that he calls Anvil. That's what you can use for stockbrokers right now to go back and forth between the stockbroker token and the stockbroker's NFT. I'll be using that. But to do that, you need to always have whatever side backed by the other asset. So if you have the NFT, it will be backed by, guaranteed to be backed by that number of tokens. And if you have that number of tokens, the AMM Anvil will be guaranteed to have an NFT for you that you can swap it with. In order to do that, you can't mint the entire collection. Some of it needs to be reserved because we're launching both the NFT and the token at the same time. The token launches on the stockbroker's launchpad, and then the NFT will be minting at chainmancers.com, and it will be a free mint. It's allow list only mint the whole way through. There will not be a public mint or any second phase. Any that are not claimed, they'll to accommodate everyone's time zones, they'll have 24 hours to do it. After the 24 hours is up, whatever's left will just be moved to like a vault. And so basically 75% of the supply is going to be minted as NFTs. 25% is going to be supplied to a liquidity pool in the form of the token. And so that's it. Reading that tweet might be like pretty confusing, but essentially you could think of it as like one supply. Just one is fractionalized, one's not. One's the NFT, one's a token, but they're both the same. There's one for one backing into two different pools. That's a part of like working and launching on the stockbroker's launchpad is half of the liquidity is backed by the stockbroker's token, so they benefit from this token going up, because when they buy this token through that LP, it's a double hop. So any router aggregator that like finds that as like a better price will like do a hop through the stockbroker token, and so they'll like buy that, and then that will be used to purchase Mancer. So half the LP will be paired with the stockbroker token, half will be paired with ETH. Yeah, I think that's basically it. There'll be a 10%. This is like, I think what stockbrokers does. It's a 10% tax on the Anvil AMM to go back and forth between the token and NFT, and half of that is the Mancer token. Half of that is burned, and then I'm still working on finalizing the details on how the rest of the percentages are split up. But
Okay.
half, it'll be very similar to the stockbrokers. But basically, yeah, also similar to stockbrokers. You got to copy what works, right? Whenever you have the NFT, to be part of collecting fees. I don't know if I went into that, but like if yours where the more Mancer that you burn to activate your keeper, the higher percentage you'll get on the split.
Again, taking plays out of the stockbrokers playbook that worked. I love it. I did see Simple Farmer joined us here on stage. We'll bring Simple Farmer into the conversation here in a little bit. If anyone else has any questions for Michael, drop those in the chat. You're welcome to throw a request to join us on stage. We do have a hard out at 10 o'clock, so we'll do our best to get do our best to get as many questions as possible answered. Although not only do I have a hard out, Michael's got a a pretty busy next 24 hours here. So yeah, get your questions in the chat or throw the request in to join us on stage. Exciting though, man. I am so the NFT will be the one that will be eligible for fees, not necessarily
Correct.
the token by itself, or is there some sort of
Yeah,
I don't know, staking mechanic or something with just the fungible token?
yeah. Simple Farmer and I, one of the first calls that we had, I think it was the first call. I was coming out of, you know, you just learn things along the way, and I think that like having the NFT be like the identity form of the is like gold. Like that's the sweet spot. So it's like anything you want to like use to gate or like if I were to like have if I were to have like some event that I held, it's like no, it's not the like your identity is the NFT. And you can get the NFT with the token or vice versa. Like the token is there to supply the NFT with like instant liquidity if they want, right? And then the NFT is there to provide the token and identity. And I think that those two things together is like the sweet spot that we're really just now seeing. Static's back again.
Yeah, getting some feedback again. It's weird because it's not a consistent. It kind of it's coming and going, but I don't know. Maybe whatever you did last time that fixed it. See if we can maybe that'll
test.
Yeah, it's good now.
Weird. Yeah, you know, the crazy thing is it's not even like I'm not really controlling anything on my computer. I'm just telling I'm telling the streaming platform which mic to use. That's weird.
Yeah, it's really StreamYard could do that sometimes. Also, I wonder, probably not, but my AirPods would sometimes do that when the battery started getting close to being dead.
Yeah, my batteries are good though.
Either way, it
72%.
Seems to be resolved now. So
yeah.
Power through it.
Yeah, like I was saying, people were probably amazed at how fast and how high stockbrokers have gone, but it's because they found that sweet spot, that relationship between the NFT and the token, where they are one, but like in two different forms. And that tax relationship between them, putting like some brakes on arbitrage. That was something that I experienced with the slop token and slonks. When you have just like immediate arbitrage back and forth, that can hurt the token's price in the floor. But anyways, I
also feel like to that real quick. I also feel that we're seeing, because it's a relatively new chain. I feel that NFTs on Robinhood chain are having a moment, but I feel that the upside of a fungible token is a much higher market cap to attain that's attainable than it is for a new NFT, right? We see meme runners go to
liquidity.
Exactly.
Like NFTs don't have liquidity. Like you can have like WETH orders in, but that's not like really liquidity. Even the WETH orders could be like not legitimate, and like they can get canceled in an instant. So it's the liquidity that like the token provides the NFT that is like game changer for the NFT in that relationship back and forth. And that's why you have to like treat the NFT for what it is. Like you can't just be like, oh, they're equal. So it's like if you hold either say like 500,000 tokens or an NFT, you get the same benefit. It's like, no, the identity is the NFT and the tokens, the liquidity, and leveraging both of their strengths, I think is what has been like dialed in. And that's what I it's like I've learned from those, trying to figure out a good relationship between that. I saw stockbrokers when they launched and saw how those worked, and I was just like, dude, that's it. Like that is that relationship between them and how he handled that. That's solving the problems. And so that's, I was like, I got to copy this going forward.
I'm a big fan of copying. I think it was Walt Disney said, it probably wasn't Walt Disney. I might be making this up, but something to the effect that copying is a good thing. In school they called it cheating, but in the business world it's called masterminding, right? You find something that's working, find something that's found product market fit, and duplicate it. Put your own twist on it. Plug into the ecosystem if you can. And I think for back to the whole, the era, the meta is not just RWAs, it's not just Robinhood chain, it's not just NFTs paired with fungible tokens. It's I think the NFT, the meta is experimenting is back. And and at the end of the day, this technology, why in so many cases it's better than its Web 2 counterparts, is because you can do more with it on chain. It's programmable. Like you're in an idea
100%.
where, or an era where it's the idea guys and gals time to shine. Like if you can think up of something, you can code it, and odds are you can probably incorporate it on chain to make it even better. And I get really excited. And then when you're also taking from this model the tax, and people for a while might have balked at like, oh, the 10% fees or whatever. The reality is if it's circular, if it's supporting the ecosystem, people don't bat an eye at fees. They don't bat an eye at royalties. As so long as there's
you also don't have to go back and forth if you
exactly.
Honestly, it really, for me, that tax on the AMM is to be a blockade on like instant arbitrage opportunities. I think that's like the biggest purpose for it. It obviously it helps fund the ecosystem too, but
For sure.
it has good utility.
And we're talking to DEX, like now maybe this is maybe this is a big hairy audacious goal, talking about becoming the Jupiter of Robinhood chain. But the reality is, if Robinhood chain exists and continues to thrive and is still a going concern, it's still a top 5 chain in terms of TVL and volume a year from now, there's going to be a leading DEX or potentially
100%.
multiple. But the odds are there's going to be to what Jupiter is to Solana, there's going to be a DEX that is similar to Robinhood chain.
Yep.
If you're not familiar, like Jupiter, their fees annualized are $364 million. Now, is that going to happen overnight? No, but the addressable market that you're playing in here, the size of this market, it's massive.
Exactly.
And it's also what gets me excited about stockbrokers, what gets me excited about how you're building is historically, or over the last few years, the idea of, oh, we're going to buy back the token. There's going to be a buy and burn type mechanic. While that may not be new, it's primarily been the protocols. It's primarily been the fund. It's the pump funds, the hyperliquids. They're buying back their fungible token and burning that, which cool. That supports and it helps the ecosystem.
Kind of.
But when you do it with an NFT, the reality is the supply is just so much smaller. You're talking 4,000 or 5,000 NFTs, not billions of tokens. And I think that the idea of supply crunch becomes very real. And when you talk about what these fees can do for an ecosystem, it's massive when you're talking, a few thousand holders.
Yeah. Well, I mean, another thing that stockbrokers got right though is they're not just doing a buy and burn. Like they're distributing rewards in the form of not their token, so that they're not like adding to sell pressure. And I think that that's if it's just a buy and burn, I don't think that that's sustainable. I think I've tried it. A lot of people have tried that. It's not enough. People want to have like recurring revenue coming in, and so if you can do that, then I think that's like what people will like buy into. They're not going to just buy into something because like, oh, the protocol will just continue to buy the token and I have the token, so obviously it's going to go up, right? Like, no, that's like people will still sell. So
Yeah, man, I am super excited. I know we're running up against time here. We will get to any questions. Drop them real quickly in the chat. We're gonna go. I do want to at least get Simple Farmer in here. I saw we got Machiavelli, Loki, and Kingston also on stage. Before we go around the horn though, and do our lightning round Q&A here, Michael, is there anything we haven't talked about yet related to Mancer? Anything that you were hoping I'd ask you about that we haven't got to yet that you just want to make sure you share with everyone before you go to these this lightning round of Q&A?
No, I don't think so. The art's gonna be sick. Like one of the other things that I've been focused on with Mancer is like, okay, we're doing an NFT. Like I don't want it to just be like the NFTs only going up because of the token. Like that might be like if we're being honest, that might be like 90% plus of the reason it goes up. But I want it to be like something that is like banger art that people like rep with like pride. And so I've been working really hard on the pixel art. I think people love it. So I'm going to be bringing not just good tech, but good art. And we'll see how that goes.
Very exciting. Very exciting. I see Kingston has a hand up. I want to make sure we get to Simple Farmer though. Kingston, we will get to you. Appreciate the hand. Simple Farmer, GM, always a pleasure. It's long time no speak. It's been a couple days, but you've not left the zeitgeist. You're still very much taking over the timeline. How does this feel for you? I know we were talking Uncle Mac and Derp. Now you got another, not just another launch happening in the ecosystem, but one that seemingly has taken over the timeline and is the next hype thing on Robinhood chain. Are you starting to feel kind of like a proud parent? Is that a fair moniker to put on you now, Simple Farmer? Would you see these? You mentioned looking for those next unicorns, man. I know it's early and time will tell, but it feels like both Mac and Michael here are off to just a smoking start.
Yeah, GM Cap. Of course, what's cool is that the trenches are making a move towards decentralized ownership of itself. Like decentralized finance shouldn't stop at the point where we have decentralized validators, we have decentralized exchanges. I mean, what about the ownership of those products themselves? And so that's with stockbrokers essentially a move towards that, and then with chain mancers it's a move towards that. So it begs the question, like, what if at the start of Solana, Pump Fund was collectively owned by those trenches? What if at the start of Solana, Jupiter was collectively owned by those trenches? And what does that look like? And what if all of that happened through like a virtual type scaling model, and all that value and technology was aggregated on top of one another, and also then incentivized to work together? Because look, all the special projects that go through are linked by LP through the stockbroker token. And that's for good reason. That means the next project that comes through, chain mancers benefit from, because any buy pressure coming through that project has to go through stockbroker, which is also linked to chain mancer. And then that keeps layering one on top of another. And we're all essentially incentivized financially to help each other grow and use each other's tech stack to grow this infra. And at the core base, it's these NFT communities that collectively own that process. I think that's super cool. Besides that, I just want to say I think it's super exciting to see the trenches excited about this type of technology, especially paired with NFTs, which are some of the most active communities in the world. And then I just wanted to make myself available too for any Anvil AMM questions, because it's a lot of nuance, especially with the V2. I mean, it's only been out for 2 weeks, so I don't expect everybody to know every piece of minutia. So in case there's any questions, I just wanted to be here and support Mike.
Awesome. No, appreciate you joining. And it is a lot of new. It can seem, I know some might already have like the deer and headlights type view, a little complex. Doing my best to attempt to simplify it. It's DEX, extremely, very much so in the hype cycle. Like it's checking all the boxes on Robinhood chain, vibrant communities, plural, and the sharing in the upside. I think we talk about alignment, whether it's NFTs or protocols, the ability to share in the upside. And as Mancer wins, those supporters win, not just token go up, but the ability to tap into some of those fees. Pretty exciting stuff. And yeah, I hope that several parts of what you all are building, I hope becomes somewhat of the next, the next meta here, and we see more, hopefully, imitate and flatter you all with looking to ship similar things. And hey, if you're a builder and you're thinking about something and you've been inspired today, DM Simple Farmer, reach out to Stockbrokers, reach out to Michael, because even though Michael's part of the launching with the Stockbrokers ecosystem here, I got to imagine that just this he's built several things. He's a builder, he's a tinker, he's an experimenter, and if Mancer has the success, even remotely close to the success that Jupiter or some of these other dexes has had, while he might be a small startup, lean operation today, probably going to be looking for some additional talent as this thing takes off. So great. When we talk about the era of experimenters and so much new happening on chain, it also creates tremendous opportunities. Whether you're a builder or you view yourself more as a team member, I think there's a lot of energy, a lot of excitement in this ecosystem, and some great people to connect with. I did pin up top some posts from Michael, the Slop Father, and his X account is, for those listening to pod later, it's Michael Hirsch, MichaelHirschch is the X handle. And then Block Hash account, also some pin posts up top as well. But yeah, I do know we are running long. I apologize. This has been a great conversation, and I'm super stoked. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention, I've seen on my timeline even this morning, I've seen some of these allow list spots selling for, I saw one for 450. I didn't validate. I saw another one go for nearly $1,000.
Oh no, I'm not listening. Well,
shout out to Squallow, who King Swallow was the one who commented on your post and gave us some flowers for Coffee with Captain, and was essentially an assist to get you on the show here to set this up in very short order. By the way, not only do I appreciate your time, this all just came together in the last 24 hours, so I really appreciate you carving out some time to join us. I know you're very busy. King Swallow he's got a few allow lists. He's going to offer one of those up to our Coffee with Captain community. So if you're listening, you're in that Discord, we'll do some raffle here today. Get one of those picked out.
I'll add one to that.
Awesome, incredible. So there you go. We got two allow list going out to the Coffee with Captain family. Greatly appreciate that. And while anyone can win, and there's never any pressure to buy, I would love to see you go mint the thing, participate in the community. Don't just look to flip that allow list, even if they're going out there. These are good builders to support, and excited for this launch. Go ahead, Simple Farmer.
Yeah, I just wanted to, because my DeFi brain is like, want to have word vomit right here. The important thing to note is that the Jupiter model is great because it's not a DEX itself, it doesn't host liquidity pools. It's what's called a DEX aggregator and a DeFi aggregator. So all of the features you're using through Jupiter are actually just, but they are better front-end accessibility to all the DeFi protocols that exist on that chain. That's why they get so much traction. And it's one of the reasons that like meme coins do so well on Solana, is because they're using Radium pools, but most of the trading is happening through Jupiter, which is a much better executor on all these because you have TWAP and DTA functions. So this type of thing is great because, you can plug in Uniswap, you can plug in all of the DEXs that'll ever exist on Robinhood chain, even if there's some new technology to route through the Mancer system.
I said it earlier. I'm not sure if you heard it, if you're on the stage yet or in the audience yet, some form, but it's like, and I know obviously by nature, a DEX is a decentralized exchange, but this just feels much more decentralized at its core, like really leaning into the decentralized ethos, the cypherpunk ethos, I don't want to say like the purist, but and I know this is a passion of yours, Simple Farmer, and eliminating the middlemen, and if we can do something peer-to-peer, let's do it peer-to-peer. And I know my words, I'm not describing it as well as the two of you could, but that really stands out to me as like, that's seemingly at the core of what both of you are building, is leaning into the decentralized aspects of building on chain and in this open permissionless world. Proof Alpha DJ, I saw your hand up there. We got to be brief because we're over here. I've got got my partner on ice. Ben is patiently waiting for the next show. I'm probably gonna we were just talking. I'm probably gonna give a buffer so it's not right back to back, so we don't have to cut things short when we are we got a good convo like this going. But Proof Alpha DJ, go ahead and get in here, and then we'll get Kingston in as well.
Yeah, real quick. If you look at the evolution of NFTs, you had provenance, then you had community and culture. Now you have infrastructure. When you colonize in the world, in order to put people in a barren place, you have to build up the infrastructure, and then you can build automobiles infrastructure. Web3 can build on top of that. I land the plane there. Thank you, sir.
Oh, thank you. And appreciate you adding. Always a pleasure. Kingston, I saw you up here, had the hand up as well. Did you have a quick question for Michael?
Yeah. First of all, I want to congrats for the project. I think it's gonna be very good and successful. My question is based on the white paper. There's a conclusion at the end, and I was wondering, where do the funds remain until the trade is executed?
Where funds remain in your wallet. So you would give the contract an allowance to make those transfers, but the contract is not going to be upgradable, and the only way it could ever move your funds is through a signature that you'd have to sign.
Okay.
So that's how that would work.
Okay.
It's very similar actually to like if you were to put like an offer on an NFT on OpenSea or something.
Yes. Okay. Thanks for the answer.
I love it. If anyone on stage has a quick question, throw your hand up. We'll get you here real quick. If not, we're probably going to start to wind down. We'll give Michael any final thoughts, final words. But before we do that, Simple Farmer, any final thoughts or final words from your end?
No, just let's go, guys. This is fucking exciting, man. Just building the right way. Now what you have is infrastructure that takes liquidity that was otherwise exiting the trenches and the ecosystem, and it's recirculating it to the community that represents those trenches. So that's a big deal, and I'm just excited for the mint tomorrow. And good luck to everybody, and good luck to Michael, of course. Just want to give a shout out.
Yeah, second all that. Likewise, and thank you both. Thank you for the community at large for bringing back this experimentation. I've said the word that keeps coming to my mind is refreshing, and it's really refreshing to see new stuff on chain. It's a little complex. You got to think about it. You might actually need to read a white paper because it's not just copy pasta art. It's not just a fork of something we've seen before. Does it rhyme with stuff we've seen before? Maybe, but how it's being built, who it's being built with, very different. And it does really excite me that leaning into the technology, leaning into the on-chain rails. And I also have to imagine, no pressure, but I have to imagine it's also like V1, right? Like what when you have experimenters, when you have tinkers, when you have builders, what we're going to see at launch tomorrow and in the weeks to follow is probably just the beginning. And with success, not only comes opportunities for those you listening in that might want an opportunity to work with some of these gentlemen, but I think it could be inspiring to many others who, we need a Jupiter on Robinhood chain. There's a lot of other crypto products that maybe haven't been launched yet. And I think you all are showing a roadmap and a path on how to do that, collaborating together in exciting times. Michael, thank you again for the allow list. Whatever you need from me, we'll track down. We'll do a raffle here today, and I'll get you those. I know time is of the essence, so we'll get you. We'll get you the winner here before end of day today. But really appreciate that. Really appreciate your time. I too am very excited to watch this launch, and not just for you and for Mancer, but I do believe what you're all building here very well could be, kind of the quote unquote launch of DeFi 2.0 summer, of RWA summer, of Robinhood chain summer. Like there's really some excitement and stuff brewing here, and we don't get there without leaders like yourself. So again, on behalf of the space at large, appreciate all that you're doing, and thanks for taking shots on goal. Thanks for not just what you're building, but how you're doing it. It's exciting. Any final thoughts? Any closing words before you get you out of here, though?
I appreciate it. I appreciate you having me on here, and I'm the thing that excites me about Mancer is like sometimes when you build something, it seems like everything kind of just like aligns and works out from the name to the logo to the community to it pulling in basically in a lot of ways it's pulling in experiences that I've had at like almost every single thing I've done in my past all into one project. And all of the networking I've done leading up to this moment has kind of led to this point where I can release a project that is this quality, that looks this good, that works perfectly. And that's just that it's exciting for me to kind of just see it kind of coming together super fast. I mean, I just made the announcement like last Saturday, I think, or Friday, and it's just blown up. And I think it's just because you have all of the different pieces are just well oiled and working together. I'm putting everything I have into this. Like I've been like, you know, I hired like the best like logo designer that I know to like rebrand because like whenever I made the first announcement, I just had like AI throw a logo together for me, and I'm just like, okay, like this is going to be like the best thing I've ever built, and so that's exciting to me, and I'm excited to see what everyone gets. One thing I didn't say before is when the mint happens, it will be a delayed reveal. Probably 24 hours delayed reveal after the mint starts. That way, like, because the mint's going to last for 24 hours, and so I'll probably reveal after the 24 hours is up.
I love it. Bring back delayed reveals. Man, I bring back gas wars. I know we're probably not going to see a gas war on Robinhood chain, but if so, I'm here for it. What was that?
Hello.
Did we lose you? Looks like we might have lost the mic. Mic and the headphones might have gave out. I'm not sure if you can hear me at all. I will share this. It looks like we might have lost Michael's audio, but
there we go. She's back. All right, we're back.
Speaking, you were talking design real quick. I'll just give Atari God a shout out. Atari God's a real one, a longtime friend of the show, and just talented individual. He says check your DMs or hidden folders. He would love to cook up a sick video for the mint, and okay. I can vouch Atari's a real one and does great work. So if you're looking for more some more design or even in this case a video, would recommend hitting Atari up, and we'll probably cook you up something pretty fire. But all that said, really enjoyed the conversation. Simple Farmer, appreciate you jumping in and adding to it. Everyone who joined us on stage with questions and not just during this interview here, but another fun show today. Big shout out to Teacher Katie for my not one, not two, but now 3 Rec Guy Vibes cards. Greatly appreciate you, Teacher, and we'll get you that 3666 and over from Coffee with Captain here after the show. Speaking of after the show, I'm 17 minutes late for It's Called Football. For any of the sports fans out there, you don't have to go anywhere. Just tune right back in. We'll be going live in just a few seconds from both the It's Called Football YouTube account as well as my X account and Ben's. We'll be breaking down. It'll be a short show today. Getting our feet under us here is it's still preseason, but as we move forward, that show will be every Tuesday and every Friday. We've said 10 a.m. Eastern. We might push it to 10:30 just so we got a little bit of buffer when we run long like this. But we're breaking down NFL training camp as well as Premier League transfer market moves and more. I'm journeying into my fandom as a international football, an EPL, a Premier League, a La Liga fan. Ben is journeying into his NFL fandom. And so collectively we can share our expertise and I can ask all the dumb questions you might be afraid to ask as it relates to the Premier League and in international soccer. But all that being said, Michael, thank you again for your time today. Greatly appreciate it. I'll get you. We'll pick our winners and we'll get that over to you here before end of day today. And truly, best of luck. Best of luck with the mint. We'll have to do this again. I'm excited for you to get launched, and we'll stay in touch. Anything we can do to help amplify as you move forward. Don't be shy. Feel free to DM me, shoot, comment in the show if there's anything that you launch, whether it be a new feature or V2 or whatever the case may be. Happy to talk about it here on the show and amplify what you're building. And last but not least, shout out to Doma. Shout out to our partners over at Doma Protocol. They are sponsoring this interview series called The Builder's Domain. You can check them out at doma.xyz. We actually had a fun Doma on air episode yesterday with Chad and the Doma team over there. But I do got to run. We've kept Michael too long, and I've got another co-host that's been waiting now for 20 minutes. But appreciate y'all being here. Great crew today. Still, I mean, almost 2.5 hours in, still 150 of you out there in the audio spaces. Well over 1,000, pushing 1,500 on the YouTube feed. And appreciate you all. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Thanks again to Squallow for getting this set up today. And obviously, Michael, thank you very much for your time. Greatly appreciate it, and really enjoyed it. But on that note, we'll see you all tomorrow. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day, everyone.